Almost everyone has a number of things they'd totally do if they didn't have to face the consequences of their actions. A hit list of rules they'd break, sorta. Can you think of a story where you've done something dumb and faced consequences as a result? I know I have. Many, many, many times. I remember one time I put a hole in my basement wall, and my mom was furious. Long story short, I learned how to mud with a lot of shouting. We know what guilt is. Feeling bad after doing something wrong or with negative consequences to others. Shame or regret from a bad thing. Weight after an accident. I'm sure most of you have experienced guilt in some form. False guilt is when we feel guilty when we haven't actually done anything wrong. Some of us ignore guilt and try to push it away. Some of us don't feel that bad after their actions, so they struggle with it. And some of us get mad at themselves for what they did. Guilt isn't a bad thing, it just means that we have something to reflect on, so we can identify a problem in ourselves and fix it. Guilt becomes a bad thing when it controls us and makes us believe that something isn't true in ourselves. In the Bible, Paul is an incredible leader and a big figure in the creation of the early church. He did amazing things to spread the word and message of Jesus. However, Paul wasn't always this way. Paul was once named Saul. Saul was a man with many reasons to feel guilty. He had a lot of blood on his hands. He killed many people just for being Christian, and was proud of it too. He was changed by Jesus into a radical and passionate Christian figure. Big change, huh? Instead of letting guilt control and take hold of him, Paul explains in Romans 8:1-2, so now there is no condemnation for those who belong to Christ Jesus. And because you belong to him, the power of the life-giving Spirit has freed you from the power of sin that leads to death. He means that, because of Jesus, guilt doesn't have to become the boss. Jesus took our mistakes with him on the cross. With grace, we get to start all over again because of Jesus. We can follow Jesus and live guilt-free by embracing the grace Jesus has given us and not being so hard on ourselves, not being hard on others either, and extending the same grace and forgiveness to them. Letting guilt remind us of whatever we did, but not let it define us, and doing the right thing and making up for what we did. What do you usually do when you feel guilty about something? I usually try to make it right, or write a reflection so I can change. We all feel guilt sometimes, but let's not be crossed off on his hit list.